Hey, Lawrence here, welcome to Business Beats Quick Take F today. Today we're talking about 5 things that I've learned personally through my companies and building this podcast on how to leverage social media and get the best out of it. Whether you're running a podcast, you're selling a product, advertising anything online, these are the things that I have learned in the last few years that have worked. So the first thing is be authentic, right? Don't go on social media talking about things that you don't know anything about. You know, you can't drive into work one day listening to a podcast show or an interview and then try to duplicate that information, because if you haven't had the experience, it's unauthentic. And to a point, it's a little bit dishonest, right? You should be talking about information in 2 contexts, 2 verticals. The first thing is you're experiencing it now. So it's like a biography on what you're doing currently live, which is awesome. Or you've got years of experience, right? And you've suffered and you've gone through all the hardships to figure out that this is how it really works, and I've gotten to X, right? So first thing is be authentic, be real, and make sure that the content you're delivering it, you know it like the back of your hand. Second thing is know your information, right? So if you're in a business selling X products to a market, and you've been doing it for 4 weeks, and then you want to start building content around your personal brand and how good you are, well, that's bullshit. Don't do that. So know your information, what you're talking about and the content thereof. You know it so well that you're almost an expert in your field. You don't have to be an expert, I'm not saying that, but you need to know your product pretty well. Like the products that we sell, I personally know those products, those online products, because I built the online platform to a point, right? I built some of those products with my own hands, my own 2 hands, so I know them really well. So again, just know your product and have the knowledge, right? It's really important to have good quality information, and if you don't know it, when you start to talk about it, if you're trying to promote your personal brand, it really comes across as like you don't know what you're talking about and you're just trying to fake it till you make it, right? I've never believed in that phrase, fake it till you make it. I think you should just make it, and I think you should be authentic in who you are. And even if you're not perfect, it's okay. People should be okay with that because it's transparent and it's honest. And I think that's critical. Third thing, all platforms are different. And I'm starting to learn this, right? Like we're starting to learn this. If you're going to create content, say for YouTube, and then you edit that, and then you push it across LinkedIn, well, it's probably not gonna work. You push it onto TikTok, completely different platform, completely different marketing cohort, right? Even though the information and the content is the same, it's gotta be delivered differently. Right, so that's something that we're sort of starting to just walk into now actually for this show, is that you can't create 15, 20 minutes of content, just snip it up and then just push it out to all platforms. It just doesn't work. Will you get views? Yeah, you will. Will it go viral? Absolutely not. So if you're building for YouTube, you got to understand that how do you take that packaging and package it for TikTok? So go into the platform and do your research. Look at your markets, your avatars, and look at what other people are doing, and look at the aesthetics and the format of what's working, right? And you need to slowly work towards that. So there's a little bit more work in that. I think AI is going to be able to give us some tools moving forward that will be able to do that for us, but at the moment they don't exist. So that lesson is create one piece of content, use it 100 times, but you will need to tailor it to the platform you're putting it on. Number 4, know the algorithm. So you need to understand the technology on the platform, whether it's YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram, right? Or X. Know the platform. So you have to understand the algorithm behind it. Because what I've realized and what I've learned certainly in the last couple of weeks is that sometimes it's just not about the content. You could have the best content in the world, right? You could know what you're talking about. You're so successful in it, and you've been doing it for a long time. If it doesn't get in front of the right people, and no one gets to see it, you're not going to get any leverage out of it. You'll get no followers, you'll get no subscribers, and you'll get no views. So you need to figure out how to use the algorithm to your benefit to be able to manage your information into the hands of the right people, right? It's like being the best band in the world, right? You're the best band in the world jamming in your mum's garage, but if you never get to release an album or get on Spotify and no one gets to hear it, what's the point? To a point. So you should understand that the algorithm will put your information in front of the people that need it and it can help. So that means you need to do the research on the algorithm on the platform. Number 5, last one, post consistently. You need to create content consistently. Someone told me a stat the other day, don't know whether it's true, it could be completely untrue, but I believe it, is that, say, for example, most people who start a podcast, right, I think it was only 3% of those people continue to do it long term. Because it's hard, it requires time and effort, right? Creating content, you've got to come up with the ideas, you've got to do the creatives, you've got to edit it, you've got to put it out there, and you've got to do it with consistency. Is a lot of resource. So if you're fortunate enough to have a full-time person to do that, that's great. But if you're a solopreneur and you don't, look, it's just a challenge, right? But if you're going to commit to it, you need to commit to it up front. So you need to post consistently. So let me quickly run through those 5 things again to recap. The first thing is be authentic. The second thing is know your information, right? And know your data. The third thing is all platforms are different. And you need to recontextualize for each platform. The fourth thing is know the algorithm, so the technology behind the platform. And number 5 is do it with consistency. Look, I hope you found something that you liked or that you think may work for your business. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button. We try to push out as much content and good content as we can. Really appreciate your watching and look forward to speaking to you next time.